We've been discussing the UK data access bill here a lot on the show, not least because of creators and the original suggestion about helping these AI large language model machines, if you like, scrape the internet for copyright works to be fed. Yeah. And the original proposal was that they could do that without consent. Everybody's been deemed to being given consent unless they opted out. We've had a big campaign. I've had a lot of creators on the show talking about that. And as of today, the bill's obviously made significant progress through Parliament. There have been recent developments, particularly affecting copyright work. It completed its House of Lords stages on the 5th of February 2025, and then moved to the House of Commons, where it had its first and second readings on February the 6th and 12th, respectively. The great thing about during the Lords Committee, they did listen to us, and substantial amendments were introduced to address copyright concerns, especially in relation to AI and data scraping. And these amendments, which are part of what's called clauses 135 to 139, I'll test you all on the other clauses later, they were added following our pressure and others in the industry, and we highlighted the risk to creators. What these new clauses focus on, I think it's important that we look at this and then we can unpack it. First of all, it's compliance with UK copyright laws. So operators of these web crawlers and general purpose AI models must adhere to the Copyright Designs and Patents Act 1988. And this includes that any data used for training doesn't infringe existing copyrights unless explicit license permitted. And that was the key. It's got to be explicit. It's not an opt-out, it's an opt-in. The other thing it says is there's a transparency requirement. So AI operators are required to disclose how they source and use copyright material, and they've got to address the mass-scale copyright theft concerns raised by creators. And again, what this does is to prevent unchecked ingestion of works like music, literature, visual arts, or even fashion. We'll come on to that with you, Stefan, in a bit. And also then there's enforcement. The amendments strengthen mechanism to hold third-party data scrapers and AI developers accountable, ensuring creators' intellectual property rights are not eroded by commercial AI training practices. At the moment, the latest version was just published a few days ago on March the 14th. It reflects those amendments so far. The next stage is the report stage, which is expected soon, and there's going to be further debate. So people are still listening to this. Do you think the creative sector is obviously contributing, I think it's estimated 126 billion to the UK economy, Stefan? Do you think it goes far enough, the bill, to protect creators' rights?
I guess copyright has always been a challenging topic with everything you do. Like as soon as you do something, like who does it belong to? Where did it came from, and how does it like then go into the market and build almost like a market presence? So I think it's generally obviously a huge topic. With AI itself, the great thing about it is that we can within this world, AI can like really like look at a lot of things and can build ideas and thoughts fairly quickly, guided by a human that is like then the ideation matter, so to speak, that builds the actual idea. So I think to force ideation and ideas forward, it's great to have AI as a building block, because it helps you scrape and find things that are amazing to get inspiration from and build from. But obviously then, yes, we need to make sure that ideas are protected going forward, and also the ones that are already obviously have seen the light of day. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation, I think. Does it go far enough? Hard to tell at this point. I think some regulation is always good, because it will tell you, like, gives you boundaries where you can work within, and then moving forward. But yeah, it's very, very tough, very hard to tell, like where it's going and how that affects the individual that actually ideates and creates the idea.
Thea?
My opinion on this is that there should not, if you're going to use stuff, that I have quite strong opinions on this, because obviously I make music as well as doing AI. And when I learned to do music, it wasn't through being able to take other people's works and just reproduce it. It was having to learn music theory, and AI itself can do all of these things. Yeah. Now, there are plenty of musical scores out there which aren't copyright protected. Classical music, for instance. And in the popular music industry, it's quite common for somebody to take a melody line from a classical track and then utilize utilize it in popular music and change it a little bit. So there's lots of things it can learn on that doesn't impact people that are currently that have currently copyrighted works, right? And I do also feel that if you are going to go down that route, it should be like the Norway model with oil and gas. A percentage should be given to the country where all these creative works have come from. Because I've got a lot of creative work out there. It might not be generating a lot of income, but those are still my creative works. They're still copyrighted, you know. And you know, and that one, this happen. You kind of see this happen quite a lot in the music industry. Somebody who's unknown makes a creative work. Somebody better known maybe hears it and utilizes a little bit of it, and then they end up in court. Well, you know, there's nothing to say that AI can't use a bit of my creative work, go off and make something amazing, and I don't get benefit from it. But I would be okay with that if the British people were getting a benefit, like the Norway oil and gas kind of thing that they have going on there, and it was being invested into a fund to make my country a better place. As a creator, I would be okay. That would sit with me as a human being. But at the moment, I don't think anything really goes far enough. If it's copyrighted, it's copyrighted. Don't touch it.
So you're saying, of being very altruistic about it, you would benefit the state rather than you as a creator.
Yeah, I would be okay, because you know, I understand that there are those creators who are making a lot of money out of their music, and they feel that they should maybe be making more. But there are also a lot of creators who have put time and effort into creating things which are beautiful, and which are copyrighted, and they would not benefit. So if you look at Spotify, Spotify pays people based on how much their music's played, but there is a lot of music up there that is copyrighted but won't ever generate income from Spotify because they haven't got the marketing money and campaign behind them, right? They haven't got a big label pushing their stuff and pushing them. Doesn't take away the fact that that work is beautiful, and it is copyright protected. So from an altruistic point of view, I would be okay with everybody in the UK benefiting, because as a creator, particularly as a woman, the streets of London are a safe place for me to walk around even at 4 a.m. You can't say that in New York, right? And part of that is down to the NHS. It's down to the social care system. It's down to the ethos of British people looking after each other and looking out for each other. And going forward, AI isn't going away. I would be okay with my creative works being utilised by AI if money was constantly coming to the state and it was improving our NHS, improving our roads, because we need something. You know what I mean? Because taxes are high, electricity is through the roof at the moment.
Frank, you're a creator. You do a lot of writing and very erudite historical works, and you continue to contribute as to all sorts of media. Would you endorse Thea's view?
Yes, indeed. I would also add that thus far AI is only as good as the human creative input. Therefore, there has to be a balanced, almost a constant conversation, if you like, between the human creativity and AI and how it's developing. So, as regards copyright, that also has to be a conversation, a balance.
Okay, so you'll be happy to give away your money to the state to improve roads and safety, as Thea said, rather than the money go to you.
Ha! Well, yes. I think the important thing is that the human and individual sort of aspect of this is ring-fenced, and that we all want the benefit of the entire sort of community of humanity and what have you. At the same time, we all have to live, don't we?
No, then. We're going to take a commercial break, quite appropriate. We'll be back straight after these messages. Do not touch that dial.